What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to JDS NerdVerse. We're doing another ranking video today. This time it's the top 10 best of the last 50 Pokemon. So if you don't know, playing through Pokemon Gen 1 through 151. There's 50 Pokemon left. I'm at 101 right now. And this is just ranking the best left. So I'm going to have two honorable mentions and I'll get to the countdown. First is Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee, it doesn't have a lot of great things going for it. Stats are okay, but what's really good about Hitmonlee is the fact that it starts the game with Meditate. Meditate ups your attack stat by one stage every time you do it. But what that does for us initiates the badge boost glitch, and when you pair that with double kick will get through the first gym pretty easily. And then you do have some other moves here. They kind of diminish in accuracy, but regardless of that, you do get some other moves here that are pretty good. There are a lot of stab moves here that I think can be beneficial. The only downside is you do have to have Seismic Toss to get by ghosts. But there's a very broad move set here, broad enough that I think will do a lot better than most Pokemon. Hitmonchan, I was going to compare these two. They usually like paired together. Hitmonchan does not have this quite a good stab move and coverage as this Pokemon. So that's why I think this Pokemon will do well. Its stats are okay, but really it's the fact that it has a really good amount of fighting moves to get through the early part of the game with double kick. And then you'll progressively get other moves as the game progresses. But you also get Mega Punch, you get Body Slam. You have to use Seismic Toss to get by Ghost Pokemon. So that'll come in handy. But I think we'll have a pretty solid playthrough with Hitmonlee. Next Pokemon is Amente. I don't think it'll be a bad. The only problem is a Pokemon that you don't get a lot of moves via level up because it's one of those Pokemon you get really late in the game, so they skew the level up moves to match that. Stats aren't bad, and when you evolve, they get even better. So those things are good, and you have pretty good moves. The only problem is that you just have pretty much water moves and Body Slam. You do have ice, but you're not ice type. I don't know if the evolution of this is. I think the evolution of this is water rock. So you don't have ice typing, but I think you'll do pretty well early with water gun. The only problem is there's just not a lot of moves to progress until, I mean, you get Body Slam, but you really don't have a larger variety of moves. So you could do pretty well. Water gun is a great move to start the game with because it's not bubble. And it's better than having like tackle and getting water gun later. But for the most part, I think we'll have a pretty solid run. But now I'm going to get into my top 10 list. Number 10 is Cubone. Now Cubone does evolve in the Marowak, so stats get a little bit better. The stats aren't great. What's good about this Pokemon is its move pool. At level 1 in Red and Blue, we start out with Bone Club. Almost 100 base power move with stab. It is 85% accuracy, so that's kind of the downside. However, I'm pretty sure that if it's going to be a one-hit knockout on anything we come across, there's no way it's going to be anything less than that unless we miss a lot. But I don't think we will. I think it'll be okay. And then the game, it just progresses so well because we don't get another move until level 25. That's not an issue because we can learn Mega Punch, we can learn Water Gun, we can learn a whole bunch of things that are going to help us progress through the game. So we're going to be able to have we're going to hit a lot of our coverage spots. And then we eventually will get Dig and Earthquake. And I guess we don't get Rock Throw. That's the one we do not get in this game. Or not Rock Throw, Rock Slide. But I think like the early move will make the game go fast. And then we have enough moves here to kind of mitigate the late game. The only question I have is Elite Four. Lorelei would be tough if Earthquake is not a one-shot. But I think Bone Meringue may actually come in handy late because it's a 75 base power move, and it hits twice. So it's 50 plus 50 is 100, but it's 75 because you get stabbed. So that's why I think Cubone will actually probably do pretty good. We'll see. It's actually my next playthrough after Execute. The next playthrough is Execute, so this will be right after that. So we will find this out very soon. I'm very excited to play through this Pokemon. It has a very different moveset, very different kind of take on it. Plus, we actually have pretty good defense, so I think that'll help us a little bit. All the other stats are not great, so that's why I think this Pokemon's going to fall off, is the stats aren't great. But when we evolve, I think it gets a little bit better, and it might be just enough for us to have a pretty good run. Staryu is one, is number 9. Staryu is one that people say is probably the best speedrun Pokemon you can get because of its typing. So what do I mean by that? Well, as a base stat Pokemon, as a base Pokemon without an evolution, you already have 340 base stats. Now, we don't take into account special defense, so it actually is 285. But when we evolve, our stats get boosted pretty well. We also get a very good double typing, or second typing, which is Psychic. So we start off with Tackle, then we get Water Gun, and then we get Harden, and then we just get a lot of good moves that progress pretty well. We don't really need Hydro Pump, so I'm not worried about Hydro Pump. But shortly after we get Water Gun, we're going to be able to get Bubble Beam. And after we get Bubble Beam, we're going to be able to get Thunderbolt. We find a way to beat, what's his name? Lieutenant Surge. And then after we beat Lieutenant Surge, we're going to get through Rock Tunnel. That's not going to be too much of an issue, I don't think. But then we're going to get Psychic. And then it's really going to open up for us because Psychic, it's like I said, it's dual typing. So Psychic becomes Stab. It becomes very powerful. So yeah, I think this could be a solid playthrough. It's just getting to level 17 to beat Brock, and then progressing through the game from there. The next Pokemon is number 8 is Jinx. Jinx starts off the game with Pound and Lovely Kiss. Now Lovely Kiss kind of works like a really high percentage sleep, or like a hypnosis. So it can put the opposition to sleep. Pound isn't great. And then we get Lick. Lick is not great either. However, I think you just gotta get high enough level to where we can mitigate and just get by Brock. Once we get by Brock, I think the game will open up very fast for us. Because not only do we have pretty good stats, we have a pretty good special. It's 95. We have everything except defense is pretty solid with this Pokemon. Actually, HP is not bad either. So a lot of things are pretty good except for defense. After we get by Brock, we're going to get Mega Punch, we're going to get Water Gun, we can get Bubble Beam shortly after we get Water Gun, so that's going to progress. We can get Body Slam, and eventually we're going to be able to get to the Ice move. So she gets Ice Punch at level 31. That's a stab move. That's a very good stab move. And ice moves, in my opinion, of ice Pokemon have progressed very well through this game because they can get water moves pretty early. But ice Pokemon, this ice Pokemon is Ice Psychic. So pairing that with Psychic is a very good typing we're going to have. Ice moves and Psychic, I don't see how we're not going to just steamroll through the Elite Four. I really don't see how that's not going to happen. Not to mention we can get other moves like Body Slam, Mega Punch. The moves that help most Pokemon progress through the game pretty steadily. So the only hang up with this is really getting by Brock, and I don't think Route 3 is going to be a problem, but getting by Brock is going to be really the most challenging part. But I don't think it's going to be too challenging because we do have Pound, which is a good starting move, Lovely Kiss, and if we got to get to level 18 to get an extra move like in Lick, so be it. But I don't think we're going to need to. I think we'll be able to get through Brock at probably around like level 14, maybe 15. So, yeah, I think Jinx will have a solid playthrough. I don't think it'll be the best, but I think it'll be a very solid playthrough. Like I said, its typing is just unreal with Ice and Psychic. Moving on to Snorlax. Snorlax is number, I believe, what are we on, 7 or 6 right now? Solid Pokemon when it comes to stats. Its speed is very bad, but look at it. It's a massive Pokemon. Shouldn't have great speed. If it had great speed, that'd be kind of scary. Its moveset level up is pretty good. Every one of the level up movesets that's actually physical damaging is actually a stab move. So we start the game with a 105 base power stab move, Headbutt, to start the game. Now, Brock's Gym is still an issue. However, we have Amnesia and we have Rest. We can counter all those things pretty easily. The only problem we're going to have is we're not going to go first a lot. But Body Slam, we get that, and it's amazing with this Pokemon. Double Edge is pretty amazing as well. We have very high hit points. And we also get Hyper Beam. Don't know how useful Hyper Beam will be, but we also have a very broad TM moveset. We get Mega Punch. Like I said, we get Body Slam. And we have some moves for versatility. Bubble Beam, Water Gun, Ice Beam. We get Thunderbolt. We get Psychic, which I don't know why we get Psychic. We get Earthquake. We get Fire Blast. We get Rock Slide. So there's so much coverage with this Pokemon. And somehow this big Galug can surf. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it can. And also, hey, this is kind of something I've never seen before, but Strength is 80 is normal and it's 80 base power. So maybe it's a move that can be used in certain circumstances. Lapras is the next one on our list. Lapras has a very good base stat total, and what also helps this Pokemon is its moveset. Starts off with Water Gun, it gets Growl. At 16 we get Sing. Mist is not very important, but Body Slam is pretty good because Body Slam will help with things that Water Gun's not super effective against. We also get Confuse Ray. Ice Beam at level 38, we'll probably get long before level 38. And then Hydro Pump we'll probably not use because Surf is just more reliable in Gen 1. But this is its TM moveset. A Body Slam, Water Gun, Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Hyper Beam. I thought this was an Ice type Pokemon, I guess not. Solar Beam, I don't know why we learned Solar Beam, but Thunderbolt, Thunder, we have pretty good special. So those things should be pretty solid. And this is just a good moveset. Starting off with Water Gun, let's get through the first gym very fast. And moving on to the next Pokemon is Magmar. Magmar, it's of the two like very similar Pokemon in Magmar and Electabuzz. Magmar has good stats and so does Electabuzz. They both are the same. However, Magmar starts with Ember. Electabuzz doesn't start with anything. So these two in comparison are going to be, they're always compared, but Magmar is just going to be better in this game. We get Ember. Now the Magmar, when you compare Magmar to other fire type, Magmar and Charmander have some things in common. Magmar has Ember, but it also is an upright Pokemon, so it can learn Mega Punch. That lets it have another move prior to our second rival fight, where our rival will have a water type Pokemon that Ember is not effective against. So having Mega Punch is very helpful for that. We can progress pretty well when it comes to moves. Body Slam is shortly after Mega Punch, Seismic Toss if we need it, so on and so forth. We progress, and we actually get Psychic as well. So I don't know how many of our level up movesets we're going to use, maybe Flamethrower, but we'll get access to Fire Blast as well, so about the same. Maybe Fire Punch. If we got Fire Punch a little sooner, it would be much more helpful. But we will see, but I don't think we're going to be at super high level early because I think this Pokemon progressed pretty well. Other than Misty is going to be the biggest roadblock, but we got a lot of stuff we can get accomplished before we face Misty. So, moving on to number 4, which is Zapdos. Now, Zapdos has very high stats, and if you saw my top 10 worst Pokemon left, you saw that we had Moltres. So, looking at this moveset, we have a Electric move and Drill Peck early in the game. I think we're going to be just fine getting through most of the early part of the game with those two moves. Okay? And we eventually do progress and get Thunderbolt. We're going to progress. We don't get Body Slam. No? Okay, we don't get Body Slam. We can get Sky Attack. We can get Swift. We can get Mimic at some point. We can get Agility for our badge boost when we face Elite Four. So we do get other moves, and we'll be able to progress pretty well through the game. It's starting out with the fact that we have Drill Peck really helps us, because Thunder Shock is nothing. It won't do anything to Brock. But having Drill Peck really does give it an option, a good chance to get through Brock pretty fast, and then the rest of the game will be a pretty good progression. Moving on to the next Pokemon, Mr. Mime. He's number 3 on this list. He's number 3 because he starts off with some... First off, he's got pretty good special, very good speed, okay defense, HP and attack aren't very good, but we're not going to need HP and attack to be extremely great with this Pokemon. We start off with Confusion, which is a 50 base power move, 75 base power with Stab, because we are a Psychic type. We also get Barrier, which can up our defense. So if we get in a fight where we're not super effective, Barrier will help us not take a lot of damage. And our moves progress pretty well. Double Slap, Light Screen, Meditate is fantastic. It lets us up our stats. So that's our badge booster right there. And then shortly after we start the game, we can get Mega Punch. Shortly after that, we can get Body Slam. We can get some fighting moves if need be. Thunderbolt, we do have high special, so Thunderbolt will be very effective. Solar Beam can be effective. I don't know if we're gonna use it. It can be. We can eventually get Psychic, and then yeah, I don't see where there's a lot of roadblocks with this Pokemon, and we're gonna progress pretty well. The only thing holding this Pokemon back is it doesn't have great HP, so we can get some lucky one hits on us. But for the most part, this Pokemon's pretty solid, and I think it's gonna have one of the best playthroughs we're gonna have, just based on the fact we start with Psychic, a Psychic move. Next is Articuno. This is number 2 on our list. You can probably guess number 1, but I'll leave you in a little bit of suspense and explain Articuno. So Articuno is all the legendary birds have great stats. So this one has great stats. What comes down to with these Pokemon is its typing and the moves that they give you with the typing. So Articuno starts with Peck, which is a pretty good move. It's a pretty good flying move. It's good stab. But we also get Ice Beam. Ice Beam is 95 base power, and you start to game with that. A lot of Pokemon in the game opens up wide open when you get Ice Beam. This Pokemon starts with this. So we're going to progress very fast. Brock's Gym, it doesn't have a chance. There's a lot of flying type Pokemon on early games, also a lot of bug. And this is like the perfect combo to deal with both. And then we face Missy's Gym, that's not going to be an issue. I don't think Lieutenant Surge will be an issue. I think we're going to be outspeed, we're going to just overpower them. And then what's the next gym? That would be, oh yeah, Erica. And then I just don't see where there's going to be any kind of slowdown for this Pokemon. And then eventually level 51 we get Blizzard. We can add other things. We can add Bubble Beam. We can add Hyper Beam if we need to. But really, this Pokemon is going to start off on a great note, and it's going to fly through the early part of the game. And I don't see anywhere. I'm thinking about where in the game we're going to have a hang up. Giovanni's not going to be an issue. I don't think Blaine will be an issue. I really don't see where there's going to be any hang up with this Pokemon. So this is number 2 on my list. Number 1 is Mewtwo. Mewtwo has the highest base stat total in the game. Like, look at Articuno. Its base stat total is 580. Okay, Mewtwo is 100 points higher than that. So that stats are amazing. The only stat below 100 is defense, and that's still a respectable 90. It's level up moves. So we start the game with Psychic, Swift, Disable, Confusion. So we have 2 stab moves right out of the gate. A 60 base power move that never misses. Okay, I'm not worried about its level up move. We're not going to get to high enough level to do anything with those. The only thing maybe I'll concern not even Barrier. I don't think Barrier is good. So we don't have a way to boost our stats unless we mimic something. Okay, but starting the game off with a 135 base power move is fantastic. And your backup move is a 75 base power, same type move. Fantastic. And then when you look at its TM moveset, now we're not going to use a lot of this stuff. Maybe Body Slam, maybe Ice Beam and stuff like that. But a lot of these moves, can be used if we need it. We probably won't need to use all of them, but it's available to us if we need it. And yeah, the world is our oyster when it comes to Mewtwo. Mewtwo is going to fly through this game. And Articuno is going to fly through this game. I think a lot of these Pokemon are going to fly through this game. Just depends. So that is my list of the top 10 best of the last 50 Pokemon. I know it's like a weird title, but yeah, these are the best Pokemon left. And if you think I missed someone, or you think someone else belongs on this list, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm really excited to get this last third of Generation 1 taken care of. I'm going to do some extra series. I'm going to do some Versus series. I'm also going to do some start into Gen 2. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming with this channel. And I'm going to do some replays of some earlier Pokemon I played through as, because I think the run's going to be a lot better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I want to thank everyone for watching. This has been JD's NerdVerse. And like, share, subscribe. And today is Wednesday. I'm filming it right now, and I'm going to post it earlier today. If you've been missing my videos, the last 2 weeks have been hellacious. I've had some weird version of the flu. I have to have hot tea, a throat spray thing that stops me from coughing, and a cough drop in all at the same time, just to do these videos right now. It's kind of the weirdest combination I've had to do for anything, but that's what I had to do to get this video filmed, and I still coughed a time or two. So it's been a hellacious week. Let me just say that, or 2 weeks. But If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and be on the lookout for my ranking of the last 50 Pokemon I just played through as. Pokemon 52 through 101. Alright? Thank you for watching, and have a good one. See ya.